All right. I believe we're live. Is that correct, Nick?
Oh, let me take a look. There's a button over here that says live, and I see, things happening on other things. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that we're live.
All right. So, for those of you that have been following the NFT world for a while now, and the blockchain gaming explosion, and all the crazy stuff that's happening, you're kind of seeing a lot of virtual real estate games, and virtual land plots, and just various extensions, kind of that I guess kind of branch off from the virtual world, right? And it's very exciting. It's introducing new virtual economic models and tokenization models, and it's very fun. It's great. It's innovative, it's disruptive, and it's beautiful. So, what we're introducing to all this is we are building an in real life IRL smart city development. The first one is going to be on about 50 acres in Arizona, and we are bridging the economy of the offline real estate development world to the blockchain, to the NFT world. Hasn't been done yet, right? It's, you may have seen some projects that are kind of tokenizing real estate and creating NFTs that maybe represent like a house or something like that. But we've designed a whole economy around it. So, and we're bridging in a few different ways. We're bridging from the economy of EverSmart City, but we're also bridging the economy with the virtual representations of EverSmart City in the metaverse, right? And
And those would be
yeah.
called what, David?
Nick, just say it. It's your word. Go ahead, man.
Oh, it's the Omniverse.
Yes. Why
I
don't you
knew
tell
this
them
was
what
going
that
to catch
means?
on one day. See, that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Tell them what that means, Nick. I mean, this is your
All
time to
right.
shine. It's your word.
Oh, it's time for me to shine. David, I wonder if there's ever going to be a medium where you can go ahead and like claim a word or something like that and have it to be your own. We
Yeah, I
we,
think
we,
we'll
we
get
need
to
to get
that.
yeah, we
Yep.
need to get into on that at some point in time. I'm sorry, I backtracked. All right, so everybody throws this word around metaverse, and nobody realistically, you can vaguely put a concept on it, but nobody ever can really clearly define it. I'm going to make an attempt right here, right now, on live on YouTube to define the different types of verses out there. So we have, in my view, you have a microverse, you have a metaverse, and you have an omniverse. So your microverse is your sole project. It is controlled by you. You do all the work on it. It's not open to everybody, and you still give somebody a good story. You give somebody a good product, and you give somebody a good value for their dollar. So that's microverse. Now, if you take your microverse and you talk to somebody else that has a microverse, you put them together, that's a metaverse because you're taking the best of your world and the best of the other world and you're putting them together in a collaboration, which is why Web3 is going to be the biggest thing since sliced bread because it encourages collaboration. It encourages the best things to happen between projects and stuff like that. That in itself is a metaverse because it's basically still contained within the actual web. The omniverse is going to go ahead and take that metaverse concept and take what's sitting right here in front of us. And it's going to bring the transaction between all of those worlds together somewhat seamlessly and make it to the point where it's going to be more of the way of life than it's going to be a fun little gimmick.
Yeah, and
Well,
yeah,
actually,
for
yeah,
yeah, for those of you that are maybe just kind of dipping your toe into this space and just starting to kind of understand what's going on, you'll hear Web3 a lot. I know metaverse is a new word, but Nick was just explaining that. But Web3 is like we're in Web 2.0 right now, right? Everything's
yep.
moving towards Web3. Web3 is built on the blockchain. That's kind of the foundation layer, and everything's tokenized.
Mm-hmm.
And all the access points are with like direct wallet access, right? Like where you're
Right.
in kind of in full control of your data and your NFTs and your cryptocurrency and all, and your avatars and your identity and all that stuff. That it's a major shift that's happening
Yep.
right now. So yeah, that's our world, and that's what we're preparing for. It is alive, Morton. Yeah.
Yes, it is. And I mean, we could sit here and we can probably talk all day about all this stuff, and we will in the future podcast be talking a lot. But you know what? There's somebody that we wanted to surround ourselves with. This woman here has done a lot of good things for a couple of her projects, Shipletopia, the Shipple project, the Uplift. I mean, pretty much anything that she's been in, and she's been in a interviewing type of thing, or a basically where she's talking with somebody, has always been a success. So when I found out the possibility that there could maybe be a way to lure her over to our side, I jumped on it, and hopefully she'll like us enough and want to stay with us. So everybody out there, I want to reintroduce you in case you haven't heard of her. She is just simply known as the Jen.
The
Everybody say
Gen.
hello to the Jen.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, like I keep telling everybody, your journalistic prowess is fantastic. Everything that you do is top notch. We love you, and I know that the universe loves you too, because I see everybody catching into your private shows. Whenever Jen's show was on the Uplift thing, it was always one of the things that everybody loved. So we're happy to have you here, and hopefully you'll be able to stay.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and it's been fun chatting with you, Jen, in the background. We've been chatting for, I don't know, maybe a month or so, just kind of in preparation of all this stuff. And it's cool that a big part of your passion is just, sustainability and sustainable practices and, green technology, alternative energy, all that stuff. And I know, like, with kind of a lot of your streams that we're kind of putting together right now, we're going to be focused on some of those elements. And yeah, so I encourage people to make sure they watch Jen and watch those shows. We're going to be having a lot more people on the show. And I see my partner and co-founder Sophia is here. She's also the CEO of EverSmart City. So we will be having her on in future shows as well to kind of dig deeper into the real estate development side and all the cool elements of what we're building over there. All hail the Jen. Thank you. Yes. So yeah, Nick, do you want to kind of recap our first NFT drop that we did?
Sure. Let me go ahead and hit this button that says share the screen. Let me share my screen. And look at that. It comes right up. Technology, you gotta love it. So those of you may remember when you bought this particular NFT right here.
Or claimed it for free?
Yeah. As you can see, you get a nice little thing basically stating that the world's in peril, but we still have a little bit of time to turn things around. Nice little dolphins jumping. Sustainable smart cities, EverSmart City. That's going to be the way it's going to be.
Yeah, it's a cool little video that's actually embedded in the NFT. And again, if you're not aware, that's what can be done now and much more. We're going to be introducing a lot of cutting edge technology just like within the NFT container itself. But we'll be
Yes.
getting to that, throughout the year
Mhm.
with our partner projects. But this NFT, I just want to remind the people that it's very important because this keeps you on the whitelist for our upcoming official launch of our founder series, for EverSmart City. So you need to keep those in your wallet. And here's Nifty Blocks, which we love. We're having a blast working with Nifty Blocks. It's
Oh yeah.
it's the number 2 marketplace right now. They're gaining a lot of market share from Atomic Hub, and I think a big reason for that is just all these new software tools, and they just make it so easy for NFT projects to launch their series and organize it and do. There's just so much stuff they're introducing in the background
That
that we're
that and
utilizing.
also they're starting to be a little bit more innovative. I mean, normally you'd have to go ahead with what we're going to be doing with the whitelisted stuff. We're going to give the whitelisted people, a little bit for coming in and being an early adopter. We're going to give them a little bit of an advantage when the initial drop comes out. We're not going to tell you what that advantage is right away, but we're going to give you a little bit of an advantage. Now, normally I'd have to go ahead and I'd have to pay somebody smarter than me to go ahead, write a script that says, okay, scrape all the wallets, find this particular NFT, do this, do that, do this, do that. With the new tools that came out just recently, I can go ahead and do something called proof of ownership. I go ahead and I would select a certain criteria in nice little drop down boxes, and Nefty Blocks is going to do all that stuff for me when the drop comes. I mean, stuff like that, I love. It's not only appealing to the guy like me that may have 14, 16 different systems going on at a time. It's like, geez, I just need something simple to let this, to let this thing go. But it also appeals to somebody like Jen that may not be a programmer or anything like that, and just a great personality. If she wants to go ahead and be like, hey, I want to start a whitelist because I've got some cool stuff and I only want people that are involved in my project to see it, it goes ahead and lets her harness great power in her hand.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and so obviously the other aspect of this, this first promo NFT that we dropped is it will be stakeable. Like you will be able to stake this NFT in the upcoming staking platform that should be launched hopefully this summer. And it's like we said in past shows, Nick, it's like we don't want to be putting out NFTs that don't have a purpose for anything, right? It's just one of
Exactly.
those aspects of the NFT ecosystem that we see too much. We just see a lot of like trigger happy, projects. They're just kind of cranking out these NFTs, and like a month later, they're already forgotten, and you can't even give them away, and they have no real value anymore. And yeah, I just don't like that philosophy in terms of minting series. Yeah, we're very thoughtful in what we're putting out here. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, I mean, you go ahead and you take a look in this era. You've got people making millions of dollars on one particular NFT, and then you either never hear from them again, or they're putting out derivatives of the same old crap because they know it's just a money grab. That is okay to do in Web3. You're free to do what you want, but the ones that will sit there and the ones that will survive are the ones that actually engage with the community and talk to the community and listen to the community. And with Web3, it becomes more easier to get that done. So we can go ahead and do direct, stuff through the blockchain and through that wonderful thing that Nefty Blocks has done. But also, you sit there and you're like thinking, hey, we gave the people the promotional NFT. What are we going to do with that? A lot of people are like, that was like 5 years ago. Who the heck cares? Well, I care because that person that got that promo NFT was there for us at the beginning. Even if it's going to be like half of a percentage of a boost, or they can go ahead and they can have like a sparkly thing on their character or something like that. I always want that to happen because if it wasn't for our community, if it wasn't for the people out there, if it wasn't for people like Rebel Tales, Nels, and C Money out there that are listening to us right now, and people out there that are going to be listening to us in the future, this project is going to go absolutely nowhere. So we want to go ahead and extend the best project we can to the community. And the only way to do that is through what David just said, sustainable gamification. Everything is going to have a long lifespan. It may not have an infinite lifespan, but it will have a long lifespan. And I mean, normally your project will have, if you do no changes or anything like that, you'll probably have maybe like a good, 2 years? at the most, David.
Yeah,
Just,
if that. Jeez.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going on Garbage Pail Kids. That was what, about like a year or so ago, maybe a year to 2 years. With us, with the fact that we can still utilize it, and we can and we're going to have the partners, and we're going to have the partners out there. We're going to make sure that they can go ahead and get a value from it. It's
Yeah.
all about
So
working together.
yeah, like this is. We'll be digging deeper when we have Sophia and Mark and other partners on the show. Really,
Yep.
when we dig into the EverSmart City model, like this economy, it's a circular economy, right? It's very rare. It's very rare in the blockchain and tokenization world to have resources backing the economy, right?
Yep.
And we have, like we said last time, there's a lot of entities and people and partners and projects that are kind of working as a coalition behind this whole model. And it's very exciting. I mean, it's like we said on the Uplift show, that like we've been kind of underground for like 2 years, honestly. Like, and that was just by design, because there's a lot of sensitive information and technology that we just couldn't release yet, and there was a lot to put together. Honestly, man, it was a challenge, but we're there now, and we're excited. And also, we're not hypesters. Like we're not in this for just a bunch.
I mean, I'll sit there and
money.
I'll be a big goof and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and I'll make sure that you know about our project. But I'm not going to be sitting there screaming from the rooftops, "Hey, everybody, you got to go ahead and get yourself an EverSmart NFT, because if you don't have an EverSmart NFT, your teeth won't be whiter, your eyesight won't be better, and you won't have the charisma and stuff like that." No. We prefer to let our stuff. We prefer to let what we put out do the talking for us.
Yeah, and we'll be ramping up the PR. We'll be doing a lot of interviews. We're obviously doing some marketing, just obviously so people can hear about what we're doing and get involved and be a part of this. But yeah, so Nick, hey, I guess before we get to our founders series to actually show them, Jen, would you have any thoughts or comments?
Oh, about 1,000. I am very, very excited to see where this project goes. I have 1,000 questions about all of the green technologies and the circular ways they're connected. And I'm really looking forward to asking all of those questions. That's where I'm at. I'm excited about the NFTs. I'm excited about the project. I'm just glad to be a part of it, really.
All right. Is there any one thing that we've expounded on that you want to know just a little bit more before we throw ourselves to the founders NFT?
Just a little bit more.
A little bit more. How about the part of the circular economy?
Yeah, how about you explain the whole resource-backed economy business? Because I find that absolutely magnetic. And I think a lot of other people will when they have a bit more understanding.
Yeah, so I'll give a short summary. We're going to be releasing some written information on our website before we launch, so everyone's clear on this part. It's so in the physical smart city, we are utilizing like alternative energy and green technology, and that includes obviously various types of solar devices, traditional solar panels, and even we're looking at solar devices in the shape of trees. You can incorporate solar into walkways throughout the development. There's amazing technology out there, and you can kind of design it in a way where it follows the sun. Some of the devices actually follow the position of the sun, so you get max solar power throughout the day. There are various types of wind turbines that can be used, large ones I'm sure you guys have seen driving by, in various parts of the US and the world, those like giant towers. We'll not be using those just because there's like zoning limitations for height, but there are a lot of like smaller devices that you can incorporate that contribute to building up stored energy, which we will have an overabundance of. there's devices called like electrolyzers and various equipment used with waste management that generate more elements like natural gas and carbon fiber and hydrogen, and obviously, you know, the stored energy. All those resources are what backs the economy at the end of the day. And so we can either sell them or we can use it. And by using it, we can create new revenue lines, and part of those revenue lines can contribute to the support of the economy. So I'm going to stop there in terms of the summary, because I'm working with our team just to make sure the wording is correct on the website. But that's the gist. And what's cool about this is we're not just looking at, that's not the end of it. Like I was saying in the beginning, we're also creating virtual representations in various metaverses that mirror the offline development. So it kind of introduces yet another economic model that can support everything that we're doing with our NFT series. Because what we're launching right now is for the public. And when our first smart city opens and people start moving in, we will mint resident NFTs for those people. And those will have elevated mining power, because, you know, we want to reward the residents as much as we can, because we're going to be using those NFTs for incentivizing positive behaviors, people who are able to conserve energy and water, and people who are working in the greenhouses, and partnering with all the different tech companies. We are like, there's all these different utility aspects of how the NFTs can be used. But what we're launching in the Founder Series, again, this is the public participation aspect, to be part of the network. And then all of our NFTs can be staked, and then you can earn the token, which is backed by our resources. And we will be, you know, getting into the launch of that stuff in the summer. But yeah.
But the other thing, see, because David, you went through the high level view of it.
Yeah.
The other thing that the high level view is going to bring is it's going to bring a local community flavor too. So the people are going to be incentivized that are in the city, but also around that city. So if let's say Jen, you like a good steak every now and then or something like that, and you like some coffee. Now you can go ahead, you can go down the streets to Albertson's grocery and you can buy yourself some coffee and a steak. That's great. It goes to Albertsons, which is a multi billion-dollar corporation, blah, 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 blah. Or you can go ahead and see that just down the street that Mary Milligan's farm is raising cattle, and they've got some good stuff, and they've, perfected their butchering. Everything looks good. Now, we being the people in the actual city can partner with Mary Milligan and say, hey, if somebody from us comes in, we'll give you some stuff. This way we go ahead and create that local thing as well. We're going to have a massive swell, but we're also going to have a local swell as well.
Yes. And Rebel Tales, yes. I've, my gosh, like hundreds of Zoom meetings the past couple of years with green technology companies. I've seen just some mind-blowing stuff out there, and we're looking forward to introducing a lot of that as not just in the physical city, but again, you got to remember, we can create virtual representations even of these green technology pieces. And we can use the metaverse as a breeding ground to see how people respond to certain aspects of the physical smart city before we install it, and just see how people feel about it. So it's almost like a case study, or it's like a 24/7 focus group. And it's, yeah, I'm super excited about that. And we're plan on doing something with the Uplift as well. We've been on their show, and Jen has worked with them, and Nick as well. We have our land plots over there, and we're kicking around some pretty cool ideas there as well, with the Minecraft world and that whole economy. So, yeah, Nick, let's show them this NFT that's coming up.
I don't want to do that.
Oh, please.
Oh, Jen, should I show everybody the NFT?
Oh, it's worth seeing, right?
Yeah, let's
All
take
right,
you
all
did
right.
drag everybody out here.
I know, but just because Jen said so, I'll go ahead
All
and do
right.
it. David,
Yeah.
all right, here we go. Sharing my screen. And would you look at that right there? Is not that just a beautiful thing?
All right, so when we launch this, they're going to be in unopened packs, which, I'm sure most of you are familiar with. So there's some randomization happening, when you open the pack, pre-minted, I believe, and you're going to get any one of, like, I think there's a few million possible combinations in terms of
Yep.
these banners. So when you open the NFT, you might see one if you want to click on one, Nick. So you might get the farmer's market NFT, and then the rest are blank, or you might get all 6 of them, or you might get 2 of them. There's the solar panel and our logo on the top, and they all represent an aspect of the real world economy and ultimately the metaverse. Like, those really mean something, right?
Right.
And they're going to be relative to, or how should I say this? They're relative to the circular economy, but they will be manifested with mining power in the NFT. So you'll see in the attributes underneath the NFT, in the description, it will show you, you'll see it in the image, but it also in written form say which attribute you have gotten in the NFT. So we're not going to release the mining power of each banner here until we are close to launching the staking platform. So,
Yep.
I mean, yeah, like,
Well,
speculate away.
and also, if we did it right now, then people are going to be like, oh, great, yay, bring it out, 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 and then there's going to be no enthusiasm. We gotta go ahead and keep some things on the down low here. We gotta keep it secret from time to time. You can't give everything because there could be something that I'm like doing right now that could possibly have some other effect in this world. But I mean,
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, it could not.
Yeah, there might be some boosters and multipliers, and there'll be some cool stuff coming out there. But
yeah,
so we're getting close. We're really trying to launch these at the end of this month. It's going to be close. There's a couple ducks we got to get in a row, and then we want to crank up the PR a bit, getting closer to it. But yeah, we're getting some banners on Nifty Blocks and just talking to some influencers on social, to just kind of build this up. And
our secret weapon is we've got a gen.
Yeah, and we have the gen. No one else has the gen like we do. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, questions, Nick? I'm flipping through here. You want to?
No, I mean, I've got no questions because I've heard this many times, and you know me, I'm a fan. I mean, if I wasn't a fan, I wouldn't be here.
Gotcha.
But I mean, there's a couple people watching us right now. You guys got any questions for us? Come on, talk to us. We're here. We're live. We're not. We're not some weird things on a screen. We haven't gone that far yet. I haven't merged with the singularity. David might be in that process right now, but
2030 is that Ray Kurzweil?
Yeah.
Transcendent man. Sure.
The Jen has a question.
Of course. You mentioned something called an electrolyzer. Are you allowed to tell me what it is?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah. But that will be the topic of maybe an entire show that you can actually, it can be on your show. Yeah.
I'm curious. That's the kind of name that raises all the questions.
Yeah, and
it sounds interesting.
You brought up a good point though. Like, in a lot of the meetings we've had just in the past couple of years, I think there's been some misperceptions about some of the stuff we're building. Like, almost everything we're building in EverSmart City is already proven and out there, right? It's not like we're introducing 20 pieces of technology that have never been seen or used before anywhere in the world. Like this is all tested stuff, right? So we're not, it's not like this, like, I don't know, I called it like a woo-woo development where it's just, some type of like really out there concept that no one's seen before and no one is sure if it's going to work. All this stuff is it's working, and
it's time tested, and it's if it hasn't gotten past the what we call it, the initial stage first, we're going to go ahead and help them get to that prototype stage. And if we can advance it beyond the prototype stage, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So Nels has a question for anybody here. Okay, so the 50 acres you mentioned, is this city going to be purpose built from scratch or retrofitting existing structures? Answer is yes.
So
it will be built.
It is being
it will be built from scratch.
But so we're also partnering with existing apartment complexes and real estate developments. We've been in those meetings, for 6+ months. A lot of these companies that we're working with, like they want to launch now, like they want to incorporate all these green elements and be part of our economic model, because that's the plan with all these different real estate operations, is that it's not just the green tech. They're actually going to be part of our economy. We're going to mint NFTs for all the partner projects. And it's pretty wild what's going on in the background. So,
So, and, a lot of people have come and said, hey, why the secrecy? Why the this? Why, why can't you give everything right now? And that is due to the fact that, legal wise, we've got some things that we can't say because we're still under NDA, but also we've got some technologies that probably you may have heard of before, but they're just not ready for us to go ahead and say, this is how it's going to fit within our model here. So that's why sometimes we got to keep that closed lip, because whenever anybody says, ask anybody in this forum, whenever anybody says anything, they'll hold it to you. It doesn't matter. It could be as innocent as, I like blue. And then like 20 years from now, I say, oh yeah, red's my favorite color. Somebody's going to come back to me and say, well, you said on episode 1 of this podcast that you like blue. What do you have against blue? And then you got to go back and you got to do all this stuff. So once we got everything as rock solid as we possibly can, we're going to go ahead and give you that information.
Yeah.
So
we just need homes. Yeah, that's a big part of this, Nels. We're using modular home parts and also shipping containers, because there's actually, in the first smart city, there's going to be 200 resident independent units where, like, separate from each other, and then we're also going to have 100 rental units. And that's an exciting part. Just like Sophia said, it's one of those things. There's so many shipping containers that line the planet, and a lot of them are just kind of sitting in seaports, not being used. And they're beautiful materials for structures. And we've done so much research on this. There are schools, there are apartment complexes, there's all these developments all over the world that use shipping containers as the skeleton, the foundation, and then the exterior lining is like hempcrete or traditional paneling or something. And at the end of the day, it's this beautiful structure, and you can't even tell a shipping container is inside of it. And I don't think people even realize like how much like that's a movement in and of itself, is like shipping container developments. So we're working with that.
There's nothing to be ashamed of, or like be like, oh man, all I have is an Airstream Citro. The Airstreams are wonderful things, man. I love the milling of them. I love the way that they've been made and manufactured and stuff like that. They're some of my favorite things out there. So yeah, it may be in your eyes second place, but damn, what a second place, man! What a second place to have.
Yep. Yeah, I could tell we're gonna have to have Soph on pretty soon and start talking about all the all those aspects. Yeah,
exactly. Yes, and we will release Jen upon the Sophia That's going to be a fantastic thing. I mean, I think we may even have to charge like admission for it. The meeting of these two minds, whew, man, that's
So
something.
Nick, let's wrap this up. I wanted to say one more thing, just in terms of the circulation amounts. I think it's okay to say we're going to be selling 9,700 of the Founders NFT
Yep.
series, and I believe the price is going to be $97. That might change, but we're pretty sure that's what it's going to be. So the holders of the promo NFT will be able to buy first for, what are we doing, about an hour? We going to give them about an hour to do so?
Possibly about that. You know, that number is subject change. It may be an hour, maybe a half hour, but you will definitely get a head start for being, you know, the OGs.
But here's another important piece, guys. Anything that's not sold, we're burning.
Yes.
Okay. We're not just going to keep them set aside and give them away later. We're going to burn them right away. So if we sell 7,200, then we're burning 2,500 right away, and that'll, you know, obviously make them more scarce. And yeah. So
yeah. Yep. I mean, everything that we do here, everything that we've, you know, talk about, all the policies that we're putting in place, it's to make the experience good for the people that are going to be in the actual city itself, but also everybody that's involved with the project. I mean, you know, once again, I'm going to go back to the fact that if you've got a team that understands, okay, we can build this, it's good, but you don't have a community behind it, you have a really kick-ass paperweight right here in this hand. It's only when you have the tech team and the people behind it that sparks something in this community, and the community's like, holy crap, they're doing something really good, that this actually has any meaning or any merit. And once they get together and stuff like that, it blends perfectly, and we have a winner chicken dinner on our hands.
Yep. And this sustainable gamification, right? This project, the EverSmart City and the smart cities, where it's going to outlive us, right? Like, we already know that. And this is the absolute beginning of it all. So hopefully you guys kind of get involved in the early stage and enjoy the ride. So
Jen, you got any last words for us while you're here?
Last words really aren't my thing. If you've seen my show, you know the ending is always an awkward wave. I'm not a last words, but I do have about 50 million questions, and I'm excited to meet Sophia. So, you know, there's that.
Wonderful. So I guess on that note, I guess we're going to go ahead and do the sign off here.
Yeah.
So from all of us here in the team, myself, David, Jen, Jim McManus, Sophia, Ted, you name it, anybody that I missed, I apologize. We just want to say thank you for joining in with us, and looking forward to having a long time with y'all. Goodbye.